Ron. And you are in a prison there. And you are in prison because of Christ. Iran is a nation that's hostile towards Christianity. You've been living as a Christian there, and you've been put in prison. Now, you do not know whether you're going to be able to get home or not. You think you probably will, but come on in. You think you probably will, but you're just not sure. So you're writing a letter back to your family. Now, in that family, that letter to your family, at some point you're going to have the words, whatever happens, or above all, words to that effect. What is going to follow those words? Whatever happens, or above all, what are you going to tell your family? Help. Got that. All right, help is good. Help is good, and that would be the Father.
Stay faithful.
Stay faithful. What else? I repeat what you say. No other reasons.
I would express how I felt about my family. I loved them. Whatever. Just in the event I didn't get them.
Okay. Let them know how much you love them. Maybe write stuff each one even. What else? What would you tell them are the most important things?
Tell them to pray.
Anything specific or just pray general?
Pray for God's will.
Yeah. Same situation. All right. At this point, I think we have, not counting me, we got Wayne, Bob, Frank. I think that's it. Our vision's not as good. Really not that great. Okay, these three guys, I don't want you to comment on this. You'll have your chance. Imagine you're a shepherd at Beltline. Same situation. You're in Iran. You're in prison. Don't know if you'll come back or not. Think you will, but you don't know. You're writing for the church. What advice would you give that one? Okay. Remain faithful. Okay. All right. A little more practical application. Yes, that is great. We're going to say that absolutely sure. Say remain faithful. What are some practical things that might help in this day?
We say send help.
Okay. And help. But what is
Constant.
Okay, yeah. Be in the Word. In the Word is what it says. Be constant in the Word. What else?
Pray.
Okay, pray. Definitely pray. Yes.
Trying to live good, but they would probably say, I'm a Christian, this is the best thing I know. God's name is praise you. That's what
They would say, they would,
encourage them to be Christian, live the life. So
okay.
they can
Okay. All right, yeah. Encourage people here to be Christians, to be faithful, and with things you added those so that we'll be able to meet again. Regardless of what happens, we'll be able to meet. I didn't get something? Heard it, I didn't see it. Okay.
I'm going to cheat and pull from my lesson because I know Paul tells them to be of the same mind.
Okay. Good. We're not saying. Oh, we got that confused last week. Okay. For the three elders, what would you say? Each one of you give a comment on this. What would you say to writing back to us? What would be the things you would say are of most
sure. Well, actually, very similar. I was thinking what Dan said there, that encourage one another, stick together, encourage one another, put one another up to date.
Very good. Right.
Well, most of what's been said is what I would say, but I would just pray that I would be ready to go. Therefore, hope is secure that God can use whatever happens here for it.
Okay.
Good.
Very good. But actually, very good. Very good. Bob.
I'll just say, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. And I just, greatest commandments.
You certainly can't go wrong with it. Okay, now open your Bibles. Philippians, not First Philippians. First and only Philippians. We are doing verses 20, all right. I'm going to say two things that are particular to me. One of them is not permanent, the other one is. One, my hands have shaken since the day I was born. That's not a big curse, but I'll keep doing this. Second is, y'all notice, I have braces inside my mouth. And talk a little funny, so I may say some, if I sound funny, I understand, but bear with me. All right, got it. Now we got that out of the way. Verse 27. Chapter 1. I'm going to say one more thing that's going to lead into what we're talking about Bible translation. Each Bible translation is unique in some ways. Other than the Message, which technically is a translation by one guy that's very, very good. Other than that, they're all good in their own way. So some of them are meant to really be quite literal, and there's some advantages to that, but that makes them generally pretty hard to read. Some of them are meant to be put in today's language, very much so, even in like street language. That's really good, but you might miss some of the depth. Some of them are hybrids in between. So the best version of the Bible, when you read. Now I want to show you a neat trick in case you don't know. A lot of people don't know this. How many of you have the Bible, the YouVersion Bible app? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. All right. If you don't, free have literally hundreds of translations. So they have an also probably has to show you a really neat trick here. You can highlight a verse, button down here that's compared, select a bunch of versions, you hit that compare, it tells that same verse, and I have like 8 or 9 versions. Say that, tell you this, one of the best ways that if you're studying your Bible, you come across a verse you don't fully grasp. Select about 8 versions that different times. I have everything from King James to the New Living Translation, probably right version. But everyone. I like the verse, hit that compare, and it pops up in the version. You look at it, and one way doesn't make sense, but you read another one. Great way of studying the Bible. Read. You can be waiting in the doctor's office, wherever you are, you know that. Just a great tool. So we're about to use that. Verse 27 says, in the New International Version starts, whatever happens, conduct yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. And whether I come and see you or only hear about you in my absence, I know that you will stand firm in one spirit, striving together, one in the faith of the gospel, not being frightened in any way by those who know. First sentence, and confess. Conduct yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ. So I looked at that and I thought, how can you conduct yourselves in a manner that's worthy of the gospel of Christ? What can we possibly mean that's worthy of the gospel of Christ? So I clicked on that, hit compare. Let's just hear some different versions. Verse 27. Somebody read the first part of it. Different version, other than I did.
Live as citizens who reflect the good news about Christ. Good.
Then the citizens who reflect the good news about Christ. I like that. Very, that's what God's word is. That's a very, very street language Bible. Okay, what else? Who else does it?
James says, only let your conversation be as it cometh the gospel of Christ.
Okay. Let your conversation be, and as it cometh the gospel of Christ. That one still leaves me a bit confused. I'm understanding Gary's a little bit better. What's the note?
Paul, you must live as citizens of heaven, conducting in a manner worthy of
Okay. Go with that. Good years again.
Okay. Live as citizens who reflect the good news about Christ.
Okay. Live as citizens of heaven. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. I understand that a little bit better. How do we live as citizens of heaven?
Christ.
Plain. Okay. What are some actions of Christ that we would do? Very good. Love one another. What else? Can't raise anyone from the dead. But love one another, it's a biggie. Serve one another. Let's think about who did Jesus love. Okay, short answer, everyone. But who did Jesus, who was really drawn to Jesus?
Those who suffered and
Those who are suffering, those who are outcasts. You know, I have, I don't think men, one of these things that women have a better grasp on. I don't think men understand how low a prostitute is. I really don't. I don't think we can grasp that. And in that day, prostitutes were outcasts. They were bringing outcasts in. In fact, they could be stoned for that. If the Roman government let them, they would be. And yet they were drawn to Jesus. What does that tell us about Jesus? He was willing to reach down to the lowest of society. And think about it. The problem with most spies passes or occupations, I say, or prostitutes, experts. It seems like that's been okay. Do yourself, live as Jesus did. Reach out. Rick's the best example. If you remember last week, I turned around, I was using Rick as an example of tongue, which probably have served. I talked to him a little while ago. I said, what were you doing? He said, well, there's this homeless guy trying to get him into rehab. Got the call while I was in class. I looked at Rick. He's my example of Christ. So what would be, let's take it, let's do it with negative way. What would be negative way? What would be not living as a citizen?
Serving self.
What else?
Why? Correct. Speaking religious malpractice. People about that a lot and how I act towards people in general. It's according to all of us who right. Match. Say.
It's hard. Hard to do. I didn't see that hard for Jesus. All these say, and I appreciate, I knew it would come out without even thinking, I knew good and well, it would come out, and Wayne said it right off the bat, stand firm and stand post. Stand firm, bring them down. I know whether I come and see you or only hear about you in my absence, I know that you stand, or know that you stand firm in one spirit, striving together for the faith of the gospel without being frightened away by those that oppose. Why is unity so important?
Maintains balance, maintains peace, that promotes and furthers the cause of the gospel of Christ. Supposed to.
Divided we fall.
Boy, that is absolutely true. That's absolutely true. If we, so many warnings, so many warnings in the New Testament about one place that says fighting and devouring each other. We are together. Two things happen. One, we can accomplish great things. Great things. And the second is we protect. Dan and I and John are in Steve. Four. Every Monday morning, the four of us are going to be together at 6:30. Our side we have the Bible. For years, I think Steve's been doing it over here. Alan Robinson is there. Mark Water. Mark's not there.
Mark's not anywhere.
But it's pretty reliable. But Mark's there. Every Monday morning, we've been doing this forever. And, you know, there's unity in that group. I mean, you always approve each other, don't. But there's a love there, there's protection there, there's safety there. When we have that with each other, we can launch the packages. Not only that, we are protected with the packages. I know David's going to stand up. I know times. Think about your own family. I got a Christmas party at the Seniors Class Christmas party. We were led in prayer, praying for no drama families over Christmas. You don't usually see this, but there was a lot of chuckling during the prayer when we said that. Because everybody was like thinking about their family drama. And people nod their heads. You know what? We didn't have any. But that was this year. You got back 3 years, there was drama. And it's painful. And you don't protect each other. You want to protect each other. You will protect each other. But there's this, you're weak. When I say you're weak, you don't have protection for other people. You're the lion team. You're there, you know, when the lions were going, I just got to have a wildebeest. Can I get a little sneaky with one that's off by itself? That's the way, anyway, that's the way it really works in life. You got this group of people protecting each other, we're in pretty good shape. Someone gets off and grabs them back in, but go on, fight yourself, and we start fighting each other, people will leave. And then, we're fair game. Fair game. The evil one's working about like a lion. So that's, unity is huge. Huge, huge, huge. All right. Without being frightened. Okay, speak for a friend. What would your fellow Christian friend be frightened of? You don't have to speak for Let's speak for someone else. What do you know people might be frightened of? As a Christian. And that's the gospel. What is? Why would they be frightened?
Objection.
Okay. Rejection. Fear of rejection. What else?
Ridicule. On the same line.
The truth is, though, is that unknown fear is not really fear. It's just an unknown fear. And we get comfortable because of our culture. We get comfortable in our box, and we're okay, and, well, you're okay, and well, she's okay, and my friend over here is okay. As long as the people right around me are okay, I figure everything's okay. But the unknown fear is what keeps us from growing. It keeps us from maturing. Christians as humans, it keeps us from maturing. And we can become okay, so we just stay in that comfortable zone. We get absolutely nothing done in the world for Christ.
How do we overcome that?
Pray, it's prayer, and develop a relationship with God, like a real relationship with God that is nurtured day in and day out. Being unified together, stepping out so someone else will step out, and then someone else steps out with you, and then someone else steps out.
Along those lines, I think that's why Scripture gives us, Jesus tells us, fear not, friend, wicked. When we actually learn and believe He is with us, that fear subsides. It passes. So it comes from prayer and study, so we have the ability to stand up.
And you said, I think you said, spirit of okay. How do you teach class? Okay. For those of you who teach class, have you ever had a moment, have you ever taught a class and suddenly you found things come out of your mouth that you had not prepared?
All the time.
And you wonder, where did that come from? You know, Jesus said, I'm leaving you my spirit, and He's going to tell you what to say. Don't worry when you're testifying. The Spirit will tell you what to say. That's not just a promise to those 12 guys that were listening at that moment. Otherwise, why would John even bother writing it down? That's us. I had lunch with Bill Cook today. There's a whole lot of words that passed week. Wonderful experience. And had Cracker Barrel for about 2 hours, and about an hour of that. And this, I have taught classes before when I wish it had been before I could go back to what I said. It wasn't, and it's not that I didn't prepare. And what I think you said, but when you actually do the studying, you're prepared, but then suddenly things just come out that you don't even know where they came from. There's no reason to think the Spirit of God should not take control of your life, even live. Matter of fact, I've been crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ lives in me. The life I now live, the faith of God loving me, and out. Idea is Holy Spirit, part of God living in you, and when you reach out and like Rick said, when you take that step, those fears and disappear. Like as soon as you start, I've listened to some speakers lately say they're scared. Christians, others did, but Christians did this. Like it's scary when you're trying to talk to someone about Christ until you start. Then once you start, it's the flow. I'm having a video, whatever, I'm having a good handout over there about the one who does all this. I know I couldn't help, I was thinking about this, Bill and I were talking, and, you know, I had the privilege of talking to my father-in-law about prophecy, 80 years old, and I prayed for an opportunity, and for a version of God, I prayed specifically, just heavy on my heart, and I prayed for an opportunity. Long story short, we were in our equipment, we were about to go somewhere about 10 miles away, and Kim went to get a guitar with her parents, and her father said, well, I'll ride with David. So, a little bit scary for a moment, but as soon as I started talking, we had a great little conversation. A week later, David was back. I'm his son. Here you start. Did God say so? We've talked about that for a while, but I really want to get to this last part. Who do you think knew Jesus the best when he's on earth? Okay, good man. Who do you think knew him the best? I see your lips moving, Chris. You say it out loud.
By true.
Okay.
I mean, they things until
Oh,
even after
yeah,
he left.
they're the best on the people who knew him, period. I'm not saying they knew everything about him, but who do you think actually knew Jesus as a promised relationship?
Mary Magdalene.
All right. Peter, James, and John were in special group. Remember, he took them three up to the transfiguration when he was praying in the garden. There was obviously something a little different about this. James got killed. First one, guys. First one. Killed. Not that. And then I would say, I think you can make an argument for Paul because he had that direct, light in his eyes on the road to Damascus. Then in 2 Corinthians, Paul describes how Jesus literally took him up into heaven and filled him full of things he said, I'm not even allowed to talk about it. So those three maybe.
I also think Mary Magdalene had a pretty good viewpoint too. Knowing him with expensive spices that she did, and everybody thought she was crazy. And I think she really understood what he was, what he was doing, and what was going to happen.
Yeah, and you know, I think it's kind of like Christians on that line. But I was thinking about a different kind of note, but yeah, as far as knowing,
I think she got it, even better than some
that's
of it.
probably a better way to put it.
Yeah, she got it.
He got it. And, we don't have any of her writings, but this one does. This passage closes with this part. For it is being granted. Oh, this is a sign to them that they will be destroyed, but you will be saved, exactly like I. You put up with whatever, you overcome your fear. All right, the last verse here, last two verses. For it's been granted you on behalf of Christ, not only to believe in him, but also to suffer. If you're going through the same struggle you saw I had, now, here's what I said. Remember, this has been what Paul was beaten, put in stocks in the prison. In Philippi, this is where there's an earthquake, all the chains fall. Probably they have some mighty earthquakes. Still to this day, it's in Turkey and Greece and Italy. So, big time earthquakes, the chains fall off, the prisoners don't escape. Paul and Silas, even when they're in stocks and history, was singing, no one escaped, Philippian David was baptized, and then Paul leaves. This is that same place. So, the Christians he's writing to, they're aware of this. Okay? They know Paul went through some serious stuff there. And they know he's in jail. So, Paul says, it is granted to you on behalf of Christ, not only to believe in him, also stuff with fortune. Have you ever thought about having that privilege? That you're given the opportunity, you're given the privilege of studying Christ? A couple of weeks ago, Ben talked 2 weeks ago, and he talked about a lot of hero suffering, human suffering that we all go through. But I want to ask this question. Maybe just to think about it. If anyone has this, what is this? Some specific Christian, specific Christian, not Christian. What are some ways we suffer for Christ? Name one way that we suffer. In a different way. Think about a friend who suffered. Think about someone you witnessed in your life who suffered in some way for Christ. Does anyone have anything they can say? Christ. Okay. Good. Very good. Very good. I forgot about Roberta, but that's a good example. And she lost her life. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Can't be that dramatic. Think we know it. All right, let's use some scripture to make it clear. I need some volunteers. Somebody, John 15, verses 18 through 20. How do I keep it? We can do that. All right, Bob. 1 John 3:13. And 1 Peter 4:12 through 16. Longer passage. Do that. Okay. 2 Corinthians 10, 15, and 16. Yeah. Okay. We're going to start with Jesus talking to life. Talking to Jesus. I don't remember who had that John 15 to the top with.
The world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first. If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world. That is why the world hates you. Remember the words I spoke to you. No servant is greater than his master. They persecuted me, they will persecute you also. If they obey my teaching, they will obey yours also.
So if they persecute me, they're going to persecute me. The world will hate you. All right. Look at the world right now and what Christians are thought of. All right. Next week, John. All right, same guy. He's writing the words of Jesus then. Now we're going to turn around the same guy, but now he's the one writing. He's not quoting Jesus, but he's writing to someone else. Who has the second passage? 1 John 3.
Do not marvel, brethren, if the world hates you.
But I'll look for 14 seconds.
We know that we have passed out of death into life because we love the brethren. He who does not love abides in death.
Okay. So John heard Jesus say, the world's going to hate you. And then he turns around, he's writing a letter to church or whatever, and he says, the world's going to hate you. All right? Peter, one of Jesus' inner circle. 1 Peter, and by the way, 1 Peter, every chapter has suffering in it, but someone, I think it was 1 Peter 4:12 through 16.
Beloved, do not be surprised. Fiery trial and home. Test you, though something strange will happen to you. Rejoice in so far as you share Christ's suffering. You may also rejoice and be glad when his glory is revealed. You are insulted for the name of Christ. You're blessed, because the Spirit of glory of God rests upon you. Let none of you suffer as a murderer, or a thief, or an evildoer, as a meddler. And if anyone suffers, Christian, Let him not be ashamed. Let him glorify God. That
Second Corinthians, this is Paul writing. Second Corinthians 6:15.
For we are the aroma of Christ to God, among those who are being saved, among those who are perishing. One a fragrance from death to death, the other a fragrance from life to life. With sufficient.
You just got told the world's going to hate you. Now, you're feeling, I'm being serious, feeling comfortable right now in this world, that's not a good thing. That is, if you're feeling real comfortable in this world, that's good. You should feel uncomfortable. You should feel like you don't belong. And in Hebrews, talk about how they were searching for a world, they knew there were citizens that would not be. And they felt out of place. All feel out of place. So, as a teenager, what would hate feel like as a teenager? You're a teenage Christian. You're telling the world's going to hate you. How's it going to play out? Steve, talk to me. If you were a teenager.
First, rejection. People have to be rejected. Not being accepted.
What? I'm talking.
Not being accepted. Teenagers have a great fear of not being accepted by the fear. Rejection. One obstacle.
Have you seen Christian teens stand up?
You do, but I know it sounds strange, but I think the youth today that are Christians are stronger today than they were when I was in school. I really believe that.
I agree 100%.
I believe they're so much stronger
Now, why would
today.
you say that is the case?
I think their home life, the church groups that they have is stronger knit. They do a lot more things together. Just think they're so much more knowledgeable of Scripture than most certainly I was in high school.
they're together a lot. Like Scripture says, 4 to 3, it's hard to break that.
Going back, what Wayne said at the beginning, what Paul said, it's always good for your elders and scripture to match. Yeah, that 4 to 3 thing. It makes a difference. I want to propose one more thing to go along with that. When I was at Liston, back in the 1800s, whatever it was, it's been a while. I would go, I had a friend that was at UT, University of Decatur. And I would go visit him. And I remember going to a Friday night devotional. And I like, even like midnight. And this is college, they do things. Your college things are like. So it was a late at night, Friday night devotional. And what I saw there was people who were fighting because they had to. When I was back at Lipscomb, I could go with the flow because the flow was going the right direction. I remember being very glad that days because I didn't really have to try. I didn't have a lot I had to fight against. These guys that were at Tennessee, University of Tennessee, they were having to fight. Because every temptation known to man was being competitive. This is 1981, 1982. But they've been free right there a long time ago. Now, so I think they're strong because they have to be. They're not given a choice. You can't. Once upon a time, I think when I was in the first grade, we still had prayer. Teachers still led prayer. I think it ended after that where I was, probably a little bit later in Alabama. But our arguments then with faith was based on, it's where your Church of Christ or Baptist or Methodist or whatever. That was it. Now it's like there's a group of us trying to follow Christ, but there is a big group that literally sometimes absolutely hates us. Because remember the passage that was just read, Paul says it's like we're in the possession. That when you were Roman thing, they would have parades and they would have slaves there. The slaves were going to the place that they were going to die, but they were in this possession. And he says, we have an aroma about us that the people who follow Christ, we're like the smell of life. But the people who are not in Christ, we're the smell of death. In other words, we are repulsive to the world. We stink to the world because we're standing for what they're standing against. And it saddens me because it saddens me more than any other reason because we have what actually they're looking for. They want peace. They want love. But they're looking for it in all around places. They want to know that they're okay with God. But they're looking for it in all the wrong places, or they just say God doesn't exist. And therefore, they look at us and the way we live, and they perceive our righteousness something. So as a teenager, yeah, you're having to stand up against that. What about where you work right now? A lot of you are. Those of you who are still working, is it like a really Christian place? The good thing here in Decatur, Alabama, northern Alabama, to have problems.
As a whole, where I work, it's not. Several others that are Christian. Amazing. Best that, a ton of people, how they're doing. Like the language is horrible most of the time. I can walk into a room and it stops.
Yeah.
People that apologize when they let stuff slip. It's not because I'm a saint or anything. They understand where I'm coming from, what I believe. It's pretty unique to see that. To actually step out there and make that stand, how it changes people around you, whether they're believers or not.
I've had the same experience. I've had the language clean up. And I'm always shocked when I hear these people that I never hear cuss, and I hear them with other people, and words are coming out, and I'm like, wow. Different person. I think we're more popular. Mostly Christian, or is it? Okay.
Little surprising. You know, don't necessarily.
Work for a large company and promotes culture and stuff everywhere. In fact, my commitments are to include others. Make us have to learn about, talk about Christian.
You're out in facing that every day.
Well, that's a corporate, large company, large corporation. And people that I'm around every day, not so much.
Yeah.
But that's a vision.
One of the realities of today is that if you stand up in Christ, if you're going to live as a Christian, your job opportunities, this is going to become more and more so, or become more limited. This is the way it is. Or you can compromise. Never to your advantage. So here, what time is it? 7:40. Let me close with this idea. You're going to suffer. Life is about suffering. Whatever you do, you're going to suffer. If you're a teenager, if you go along with the crowd, and if you are a Christian and you're rejected by your friends, you're going to suffer. If someone's pressuring you into sex and you say no, you're going to suffer. If you give in and have sex, you're going to suffer. Either way, you're going to suffer, but one way you're going to have regrets, the other way, not. If you're at work and you compromise All right, let's say, I'm just turning my taxes. If you cheat on your taxes, if you claim stuff, let me speak for a friend. I need someone who, they did babysit. They got paid probably $4,000 or $5,000 babysitting during the course of the year. And they went to their accountant, and their accountant's like, why are you claiming this? It's like, because I made it. He said, you realize 95% of people wouldn't do that? Like, okay, but I'm a Christian, I made it, I'm doing it. They suffered. Okay, how many cost money? Suppose they didn't do it. There would be suffering there too, particularly if they got caught, it couldn't even be worse. Whatever you do, whether you follow Christ or not, there's going to be suffering. That's just the way it is. Marriage is hard, divorce is hard. Either one of them is hard. Being faithful with Christ is hard. Not being faithful with Christ, much harder. Much harder. Jesus said, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. He didn't say it's non-existent. He said it's easy and light. That's compared to, this is someone who's going to give his whole life. And people who follow him. Look at this day, by the way. There were more martyrs in the last century of Christ than there were in the previous 9 more in the 20th century than the other centuries. People are still giving their life. What's waiting for? What's waiting for? You not only have the privilege of being around people who love you and care for you, support you, you not only have all the great things we have here, which would be enough, but you have life that doesn't end. Yes, in this world, your spirit's in the fleshly body. Next world, we match. Our spirit is going to be the spiritual body. We match. Everything that seems out of place now, anyway. That's why Paul can say, our light, temporary suffering. And go back and read 2 Corinthians 11 and see what he's talking about when he says, I've been beaten 3 times, within an inch of my life, 5 times, beaten with rods, I think, shipwrecked 3 times, stoned, left for dead, all this stuff. And then he turns around and says, our light, temporary suffering, are not worth comparing what we get. So he says right here, think out Paul. This has been granted to us in suffering twice. That is a privilege. Stand up for Christ. Have the courage to do that. I'm closing in a weird way. I'm going to lift someone up. Just know to say this so I got to do that. And I'm so damn remind me to say this. I used to sell mattresses for houses. If you go take me, I know a guy. But I would, when I worked at Mattress King, someone would come in and if I knew, they'd say they worked at a certain place. I would, someone from Beltline. Every single time but one, that's a good thing. One time that was a bad thing. That was the exception. And that was a good person at that time. But one stuck out above all of it. I said, where you work, can you tell me? You know where it passes? Yes. Good Christian. That's someone who's living it. Live Christ. Live Christ. Live as a citizen of heaven. Here it is anyway. Okay. Father, help us to live as citizens of heaven. Help us to know our salvation is there. Waiting on us. We already have it. Help us to let your Spirit live through us, work through us, guide our words. Give us the opportunity. Help us to take that first step. We know you'll be with us all the way. Give us courage. Give us unity. Give us love. Give us peace.